How would you feel if you received messages like these every minute, every hour of every single day? How would you feel about yourself? Would you be able to sleep? I bet not. This is what happened to a famous K-pop star. She received countless malicious comments every day, feeling tormented, not knowing how to cope. She eventually took her own life. And haters still didn't learn a lesson from her tragic death. They continued to bully her close friend, another famous K-pop star who stood up for her right after her demise. They left messages like these on her social media accounts. One night, she posted this before going to sleep, and we haven't heard from her since then. Cyberbullying is a serious problem, especially for school-aged children, and it's happening everywhere. Another 12-year-old schoolgirl in New Jersey took her own life because of continuous bullying by her classmates in school chat rooms and on social media. They excluded her from school activities, sent mean messages, and tortured her for months and months until one day when she couldn't take it anymore. The tragic death of these precious people are just a few examples of the impact of cyberbullying. About 60% of teenagers around the world say they experience cyberbullying every single day. 60%. And cyberbullying is not just confined to school chat rooms, it has crawled its way through all the social media platforms. According to Light, there's been a 70% increase in cyberbullying in just a matter of months during this pandemic. They also found that there's been a 900% increase in hate speech on Twitter since the beginning of this pandemic. It is clear that COVID-19 is not the only pandemic humanity is suffering from. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dr. Byoung, the founder of the Sunfull Internet Peace Movement, Korea. It is my great honor to speak to you today. One evening back in January 2007, I was sitting at home and watching the news on TV. And I was shocked to learn that a young Korean singer had died of suicide because of countless malicious comments that had been posted about her on the internet. That March, when I went back to the university, my heart was still wrenching with the pain she must have gone through. I knew I had to do something about this. So I gave an assignment to my students to visit celebrities' websites who were suffering from malicious comments and to leave encouraging and positive comments. Within a week, 5,700 encouraging comments were posted. The next morning, I woke up to these newspaper headlines. During this process, I noticed that my students had realized how dangerous hateful comments can be, and that positive comments can encourage people and can even save people's lives. This revelation lit my soul on fire, and I decided this was a fight worth fighting. This is how the Sunfull Internet Peace Movement started. Inspired by this, I started visiting schools across the country to spread awareness about the Sunfull Internet Peace Movement. During one of the Sunfull classes, a teacher asked a student to send thank you and supportive text messages to their peers, teachers, and parents. They sent messages like these, and this. And what happened next? They received messages like these. And one of the mothers said this.
아빠는 너무나 감격을 해서 나 울었다. 진짜 이런 맛에 나 사는 것 같아. 이렇게 말씀하시더라고요. 그래서 우리 다 키웠다면서 걱정 안 해도 되겠다. 이렇게 말씀하시더라고요.
Clearly, these messages had a positive impact on children's parents as well. The reason I started this campaign at school is because, as the old Korean proverb says, a habit you learn when you are 3 years old stays with you until you are 80 years old. Therefore, it's crucial for teenagers to receive character education at a young age. 14 years ago, when I first started the Sunfull movement, more than half of the malicious comments on the internet were posted by teenagers. I believe that technology or the internet in itself is not a problem at all. The problem is way bigger than the one we can anticipate. According to the pyramid of hate, the root cause of violence and genocide start with acts of bias such as bullying and name-calling. And if left unattended, these hateful words can result in life-threatening consequences. Therefore, our main goal is to change language and behavior at a young age. So many schools and organizations around the world provide advice and help for cyberbullying victims and their families. But I believe to eradicate the root cause of this problem, we need to help the bullies first. To understand this, let's look at why people bully. We all know that bullies are made, not born. So what drives them to hurt others? First, a lot of people bully because they have low self-esteem and are characterized by being unhappy. While some bully because of an inferiority complex, others feel self-satisfaction by bringing others down. According to an analysis of 400,000 malicious comments posted on the internet, the bullies were dissatisfied with their appearance, and about 30% of the respondents said that they cyberbullied just for fun and for no reason. Second, this pandemic has increased the number of cyberbullying cases. In Korea alone, cyberbullying increased 3 times from 5.3% in 2019 to 16.3% last year. Because of this pandemic, more and more people are connecting online all over the world every single day, creating new relationships and defining new cultures. But digitization brings the dark space on the internet along with it. Finally, in many countries, most of the bullies just get away with the crime because of the lack of specific definitions and regulations. Throughout the years, I have met many cyberbullying victims as well as perpetrators. And what surprises me the most is that many of these bullies had once been victims who didn't get justice or advice. According to the 2020 Cyber Violence Survey, the percentage of cyberbullying perpetrators who once experienced cyberbullying is 92.4%. It is clear that the cycle of being a victim to becoming a bully continues if such cases are left unattended. So to stop young people from becoming bullies, we need to provide character education from an early age. This is important because they're still developing skills like empathy, self-control, self-regulation, and how to communicate respectively. If malicious comments are the pandemic of the internet, then the vaccine required to fix this problem is a vaccine of positive thinking, encouraging words, and uplifting messages. And the Sunfull Foundation has found this vaccine with the goal of making the internet a brighter, more peaceful place for all. We have 4 main activities. First, Sunfull works with schools and organizations to provide special lectures about online character education. Currently, we have 7,000 schools and more than 780,000 members who have joined us in our 14-year journey. Second, we work to promote the postings of positive and encouraging messages to classmates, teachers, and family members, as well as the victims of cyberbullying. Third, students participate in the Sunfull campaigns on the streets, markets, and parks. And fourth, we conduct anti-cyberbullying poster and video contests to change the mindset and behavior of netizens. How does our vaccine work? First, we visit schools and provide character education to students. We also educate the bullies. Our foundation sends instructors to the Educational Conditional Suspension of Prosecution organized by the Ministry of Justice to provide Sunfull education for minor cyberbullying offenders and haters who participate in the training, deeply regret their mistakes, and vow not to write malicious comments again. And one of the bullies said this: "It was scary when I first got here, but I learned what a defaming crime is from this lecture, and it made me think back to what I did, and now I regret what I did. I will never bully others from now on." The second thing Sunfull is doing is encouraging the posting of positive comments. In 2012, we witnessed a tragic incident where a young boy went into a coma after a school bus overturned on its way to an excursion. All the doctors had lost hope and said that his chances of survival were less than 1%. The incident left everyone in pain and shock. At that time, Sunfull teachers encouraged all his classmates to write positive and encouraging messages in hope for his recovery. Gradually, everyone from his school started posting uplifting and healing messages for Byoung. During this process, we found that all the hate messages and malicious comments disappeared at that particular school. Students not only learned the power of uplifting words, but they also realized the consequences of the malicious comments. These are two examples of how Sunfull is reducing cyberbullying. When I see incidents like these, I know that we haven't lost hope completely. There's so much we can do to bring peace, not just in the real world, but also in the virtual space. With fewer bullies posting malicious comments online, it is the first step towards bringing peace on the virtual space. Our vision at Sunfull is to reach the 1.8 billion young people from all around the world and educate them at an early age. In order to achieve my vision, I realized that I had to visit as many schools as possible and get as many students participating as possible. However, at that time, the number of students participating in the Sunfull Internet Peace Movement remained at a standstill. I needed to do something about this, and I started to think, how can we rapidly increase the number of students participating in the Sunfull movement? Then an idea popped up in my mind. In Korea, middle and high school students are required to perform 60 hours of community service in order to graduate, and I thought that more students would write good comments if their work was recognized as community service hours. So I immediately took action. In 2010, I visited the Ministry of Education and explained the seriousness of malicious comments and the effect of good comments, and asked them to recognize volunteer hours for teenagers who post good comments. At that time, community service hours were recognized only for offline activities, and there was no concept of volunteering online at all. So none of the government officials agreed that online activities could be recognized as community service hours. Despite these challenges, I didn't give up. I visited the Ministry of Education many times to persuade them. And finally, after 4 years of continuous efforts, posting positive comments on the internet was recognized as volunteer community service hours. Following this, many teenagers started to participate in the Sunfull movement. So what impact did this have? In 2012, the Ulsan City Education Office found that 55% of the types of school violence in Ulsan were verbal threats or swear words, and internet or mobile phone swear words. All schools in the Ulsan Education District participated in the Sunfull movement by posting positive comments that contributed to their community service hours. As a result, the Ulsan Office of Education announced that school violence dropped by almost half. The damage rate of verbal violence decreased from 40.7% to 5.6%, which has been highly effective in reducing school violence. It is clear that the Sunfull movement is working. And we're not just stopping at school education. We wish to create peace on the internet once and for all. To achieve this, we are currently developing an app to educate teenagers about the seriousness of the issue and offer them character education at an early age. Through the Sunfull app, teenagers can post encouraging messages for their peers and friends. Each time they send or type a positive message to anyone on any social media, our AI detects them, and the seed on their app grows into a beautiful, tall, and bright sunflower. And when writing hateful words, a warning pops up on the screen that their sunflowers will die. Apart from this, we are not just focusing on helping the victims of cyberbullying, we are providing our services for both victims as well as the bullies. The app is currently in development, and we need the help of supporters to bring it to reality. We're confident it will have a profound impact on teenagers' lives and the lives of those around them. Today, teenagers are losing hope and drifting in darkness because of the malicious and hateful comments on the internet. What our teenagers need is bright sunlight, not darkness. Just as a sunflower always faces the sun, we, as Sunfull, encourage our students to face the light and turn their back against the darkness. Students who are taught to pick up litter at a young age are less likely to litter themselves when they grow up. The same applies to students who learn to post positive comments when they're young. They're less likely to post hurtful comments when they grow up. Through the Sunfull app, students will learn to grow their sunflowers by showering their seeds with the water of positivity and light of encouragement. Our vision is to plant seeds of brightness, encouragement, and positivity in the hearts of the 1.8 billion young people from all around the world, so that our virtual world looks like this. If this is something you'd like to be a part of, I encourage you, right after you watch this video, to go ahead and write one positive message on social media. I'm confident that this will not only make their day, but also make you feel good, that you're contributing to a brighter, more peaceful virtual world. Thank you.